Hi guys, wanted to do a total flip through and thoughts on the Hobonichi cousin. Sophia wanted to see specifically the lists and I think the drawings too. I'm not 100% sure, so some of this I've showed before but maybe haven't talked about. But so I know that I'm having, as per my last video, it's a little difficult for me to get used to because I used my Malden as sort of an interim file system where anything that I wasn't sure was permanent and didn't need to go in a traditional file, or I would need away from home, I kept in the rings. And I can't do that with this. I haven't encountered so far, a huge issue with it, but because of that, it's not as convenient for me. That said, it's something that I wanted for 2 years, and any planner transition is upsetting. I mean, it's, your whole, it's sort of like, upending your whole routine. So I want to give it a fair try, a couple of months at least, and so I'm still using it. As I said, I thought I could use it without the cover, but I couldn't, so I bought the this blue planner cover and the plastic cover for the cover, which actually also has a pocket. There's a pocket in the cover, and the I can't remember what they call it. I mean, it's essentially a cover. It has a ziplock, so you can use the cover. Now about the plastic, I think it's great, but you have to look at the website. Not all of the binder covers are meant to be enclosed in plastic. None of the zips, none of the leathers, and some of the other ones. There's a specific way they put it, and I can't remember. It's something, I can't remember what it was. It had to do with the material the cover was made for. So if you're going to buy a Hobonichi, or you're going to buy a Hobonichi cover, there is an option for this plastic. It's like, in the 60s when people covered their sofas in, vinyl. It keeps everything clean. It also adds a little bit more structure, makes it a little bit easier for me to write on my lap, and not on a desk. But not every cover is sized or suitable for the plastic cover. There's a lot of pocket space. I mean, there's really a lot of pocket space in the front, and also in the back here. So it's really, and this is how the cover fits on, in case you didn't know. It just slides in with these corners. Something I really like about this, and I'll just show you a little bit, is there's a lot of products made in the US and probably made everywhere that even if the outside is done to a reasonable degree of perfection, the inside is just a mess. And I don't buy a lot of leather wallets anymore, because the inside isn't leather and it's just shabby looking. I mean, the material is really cheap and the stitching isn't nice, and it's baggy or saggy, or just not there isn't the attention to detail on the inside, no matter how nice the wallet is on the outside on a lot of brands. And I was a little bit uncomfortable about getting this because it's not even a leather cover, but it's made so well and made so precisely. The pockets are snug but usable. some of them are deeper than others, so it allows for a variety of things. But I mean, look at the stitching. It's so even. It's so nice. The quality of the inside is as nice as the quality on the outside, and that just isn't the case for a lot of things. So I definitely wanted to say that. The other thing is the pen loops are huge. I have a giant 5-color slim fit and a highlighter on one side, and the same 5-color slim fit and a friction pen on the other side. Now you can do that, but it's really made so that you put a pen through here and it closes the binder. So if they were, they would be in line, and then you would put a pen through and it would be like a lock. But because I do the artwork, I really wanted to carry more pens than that. And that's actually why I got this. I was able to carry a lot of pens in the Malden in the back vertical pocket, and I can't anymore. And since I am doing a considerable amount of art, usually daily, I wanted to have a pencil case, and I found this at Target, not in the section with the cosmetic things, but in the section with the sort of around on the periphery of the office organizing stuff, near where they have the Nate Berkus products. It's not by Nate Berkus. I can't remember the brand, but it's very nice. It has a nice brass zipper that works really well on the side, as long as a smaller pocket here, which actually I think I like the way that makes it look, honestly. And also an elastic, and which works really well for me since I don't close the Hobonichi with the pen loops. I just put the elastic around and it fits perfectly. Isn't my favorite color combination, but the only other one Target had was sort of like a green pattern that would have gone better with this, but I didn't like it as much, so I went with the navy and white dots. Yeah, I like that. So I had a request for what's in the case. And so I wanted to show that. Hang on. So I wanted to show that these are, because I'm doing a lot of artwork, I have enough pens to do a drawing and fill in a drawing if I'm using gel pens, basically. I don't have my brush pens in here, and I don't have my watercolor pencils in here. So let me start with these. These are the Slim Fit 5-color multi-pens, and on one I have warm colors and on one I have cool colors. And sorry, I just shut my phone off. While I like the ink on these pens a lot, I don't like the design. I'm not crazy about the design because, as you see, the little tabs on the top are clear. So you have to look at the barrel to see what color you're advancing, and I don't know why I'm not getting a good focus, but let's see if I can. We're not focusing awfully well. But you have to watch. You have to watch the refills advance to see what color you're using, and I'm trying to get this so you can see it. I mean, maybe you can see it a little bit, but I mean it barely moves. And when you're just grabbing it and trying to get a color, that's kind of a pain in the neck. So there's 4 of these tabs, and the this is one too, and there's a eraser. at the top of all of them, which makes it really nice. In my other one, I have the pencil refill. Now the pencil, I also use the pencil and eraser a lot on the Coletto, more than the ink. And the Coletto ink, the Coletto eraser refill is really expensive. So it's nice that it just, one of them comes with the pen, and I also have some refills for the slim fit. So I do most of my drawing, honestly, with this Coletto and this eraser. And I do most of my coloring with these gel pens. But I also have a multi friction, which I have issues with too, because these tabs are not because I have blue, red, and black in here. These tabs are colored because they are colored. So Friction sells refills for these, but they're still, you have to remember where you put the colors, and there is no clear barrel. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the pens. I mean, those are kind of design issues that make them a little bit more of a pain in the neck than they have to be. This is a sparkly pen that doesn't need to be in there, but I had used it. One of my highlighters. Scissors. Tape runner. My translucent flags from Kawaii Tokyo on Etsy. Another pencil. My juice pen that I can't use as much because of drying time, but sometimes I do anyway. This is another one of the Friction. This is a 0.7 in gray. Unfortunately, there are no gray refills available that I've found for this. That would be great, because this doesn't have a way to clip it on. It's another highlighter. These are very nice highlighters. I don't know if they're all pastels, but I like the pastels. This is very good for outlining. It's very thin. I don't think it's waterproof though. I think that was the issue with this for me. I really need like pigment liners because I'm doing color over things. I have two white gel pens. These are the Friction, no, not the Friction, the Slim Fit eraser refills. This is a cross gel roller in black. It writes really nice. I don't know if this pen is available anymore. I've had it a long time. This is the Slicky multi-pen, and this is designed better. While the tops are clear, the refills have a little tab that goes up, so you can see what color ink you have in which section. Really a pretty pen, and very thin, very thin pen. So you have to sort of get them started before you go to write them, or they can be scratchy. So I just use, I just do a little bit of scribbling first, and that works. And these colors are really nice. They're vibrant and they're pigmented. I have some tape if I need to tape anything in. Actually, I have some tape in here too. And I got these clips at Target also. They're very big, but what I use them for is you know what, sometimes the tops or bottoms of these pages get bent, and so if I'm gonna, if it starts to bother me, I just clip the edges down, just leave them like that overnight. And a paper clip. And in here actually is just, I think some more tape. Yeah, just some more spools of washi. I get this at Kawaii Tokyo too. Okay, so all cleaned up and ready to go back on here. It's roughly A5 size, so it fits really well on the top and keeps it closed. It was a really good solution for me. So this started in April officially, but they do seem to give you a month on either side, or more actually. Yeah, I mean there's February's in here, March, and April, and there's I think a month on the other side. And I used this in my Filofax for really drawing pictures, and also if I get cute or really pretty stamps from other countries, I actually put them on a date. I don't use this for planning, except if I'm going to be away, I'll block out some time. Mostly I do drawings, and this was thinking this was gel pen. So you can draw really a good amount of things with something like these or the Colettos or whatever multi-pens you have, because you get a lot of, there's a lot of available color. Here's another one of my months. This was Mother's Day. This was gel pen also. So you don't need, you probably have what you need to do artwork in, in a planner. You don't really need, and it doesn't even have to be like drawing. And one of the reasons I like these is the graph is so nice. I mean, if you fill in the squares, you have a really pretty pattern. And I could see the whole month being done, in these, just working with the grid. Okay, so that was May, so we're out of the months. And so I'm using some of the pages that were pretty much extra for, just things I have to put in for whatever reason. I know I've talked about, I couldn't keep track of what I bought of julep polishes, so I just put them down. Here, that's the polish, and I actually put them down with the names so I don't rebuy them. I mean, that isn't something everybody's going to do, but it's a good thing to do with unused pages. Something that you don't want to buy the same color nail polish or blush, or you have quite enough green sweaters, that kind of thing. I mean, you can use, especially because they're vertical, you can use them as lists. I mean, they don't really have to be used as weekly things. So there's a space here that's just the whole week, and then the Monday starts here. And this was used more than most of them. This was the week I was away, so I had put down the dates of the events I wanted to attend, and these were all the things that I needed to do that week. And I've sort of kept that going. These are tasks that I want to complete in the week, and any timed appointments will go here, but I don't have a lot of those. I was actually thinking of using these pages more as a food journal. I haven't decided yet. Some weeks don't get a lot of love, and some days don't get a lot of love, and I'm really okay with that. I don't care if there's blank pages. I don't care if they're not filled up. That's really fine. If I have something random I need to put in, I'll look for one of the blank spaces. But other than that, fine with it. I really like the grid pattern because it's really easy to make something that looks like stitching. You just follow the grid, and then I just drew this needle and thread, and I mean you know, drawing this needle was really easy. It was just sort of, you know, I mean, you could see what the lines are, really. I mean, there really wasn't anything to it. And that was a fun thing. I used that, I used that on a couple of my pages, too. So we're done with the weeklies. And these were blank pages, so I put in a few Mother's Day cards, and I broke my nail on April. I broke my nail on April 30th. And it's just starting to grow back some. So I did what I always do, which is file them down. There's just no way to hide it when you break your, you know, your middle finger, because it's just so obvious. So I did file my nails down, but I'm sort of taking pictures because I don't know how long my nails take to grow, actually. So I'm taking a picture every week to see how fast my nails grow. And this is with the LG portable printer camera. I really like this thing. I mean, I know it was too expensive, and I know the little sheets the little pictures are expensive, but I really like having it. And I bought a little case for that too. I'm happy. I'm happy with that thing. I mean, it should be half the price it was, but it is what it is. And I use blank pages for pen tests also. More pen tests. And these were my first sort of, well, some of my first drawing attempts with the brush pens. They're really nice. I mean, the tips are flexible. I think they're individual brushes, actually, but when they come together, when they're not pushed down, I mean, they look like a brush-shaped pen, but it's actually a brush, and the colors are just beautiful. Really nice. And blank pages are great for practice. I mean, you know, I don't get, this is my DIY fish yearly chart. I mean, I don't get nuts about blank pages. I really don't, because I can always fill them with something, recipes, you know, whatever. And I tend to do my lists in the same basic way. I'll write the tasks I have to do, and then I'll put a dot. And the reason that I put the dot is because sometimes a task will take 2 lines, and I just want to see how many tasks there are. So, you know, I do it like that. I have gone to using boxes, but you know, I mean, you know, my lists are kind of random. I mean, someday a grocery list may be here, someday it may be here. I don't think it's that important to be really specific for me with daily pages, because I'm not looking for an overview. I'm looking on a single page, so it's not, you know, not hard for me to figure out what it is that I'm looking at. This was my first cartoon. This might have been my first picture I did of Ventura. Let's see. He looks like this in my cartoon, and he looks like this in real life. But I don't know if you can imagine. I mean, he's like 80 pounds, so sharing a bed with an 80-pound dog who has limbs going in all different directions is a challenge. And here's more at Dewey Beach. This is the watercolor brush pens that I got from Jet Pens. So nice. This is an Instagram. I had my Instagram pictures photographed. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about my lists. I mean, I do color code to some extent, but only to keep track of what I've done, and not really in the traditional sense. I mean, sometimes I'll change color when I change topic. Like, I may change the way I outline a grocery list as opposed to a cleaning list, just so it's easy to separate the tasks. But I don't have any specific idea of color coding, because it's just not necessary for me. This is another example. This is a Zen dangle of what you can do with just gel pens. Like I said again, you really don't need, you really don't need complicated art supplies. You really just need some colors, and you can do art. This was, this is a picture of a typewriter I have. I'm not sure if I have it anymore, but definitely one that I had. That don't have anything to say about, and most of this. This was just coloring in the squares. I like that. I've done it a lot more since I did that. Here's some more coloring in. Sticky notes. I mean, if I write on the wrong day, or I make some kind of huge ugly handwriting mistake, I'll just cover it with something. And if there's not much going on in a day, there's not much going on in a day. If I want to keep track of coupon codes or product information, or here's another shot of my nails, I just slap it on if there's room. This is gel pen and brush pen. But the results are very similar. It's much easier to get like a flat wash color with the watercolor brush pens than it is with the skinny gel pens like this, for sure. Here's another one. I think that was all gel pen, actually. Oh, I think I colored my hair that day. Or maybe I was just drawing the back of a head. There's my toothache. And that was like a busy page. But there was like a lot of random information, and I just tried to outline it and put an arrow and outline it, similar types of information. There's really nothing specific I do. I can't just do the rules like that. I just don't always have the pen, and then it drives me nuts, and then I feel like I failed. And yeah, so these are the Slicky pens. I mean, they dried almost immediately. I mean, seriously. I don't know if it's because they were so narrow. I don't know if it's the ink, but this was really the only one that ran, and I did, I went like this after I had done them, like right after. And this was the only one who had, any smudging. So that's pretty amazing. More drawing. Mopey day. I had a mopey day. Mother's Day. I would have been better off using the watercolor brush pens for this, because it's really hard to get a nice flat, something that looks like a flat wash in a large space with gel pens. This is a YouTube channel I didn't want to forget. I wanted to remember to subscribe to her. Her name is the channel name is The Four Queens, and I really love her manner, her presentation. I love the topics she talks about. I didn't want to forget. And there's the suitcase. I got a vintage suitcase for free. And there's Ventura. This is actually the picture that this drawing came from. So you can see it looks pretty similar. I did add the ocean though in at the top. This is a little, just a little envelope I just folded and put together, and I just had a picture of myself like when I was 20 and a picture of myself now, and I was just like, oh my god, what happened to me, you know? I mean, like, oh man, aging is just the pits. And I wanted it in here, but I didn't want it out in the open, and so I just made a little envelope for it. This is a recipe for poached fish I want to try. I'm not going to put it in my recipe, my little recipe journal until I know if it works. This was just pretty. I mean, I bought a blood orange. I thought it would be really, really good. It was okay. I mean, it was more like an orange than anything different than an orange, but it came wrapped in this, and yeah, yeah, okay. I have a Weight Watchers food list, and I did some pictures this day. I did a lot of cleaning. It was my father's birthday. I did a lot of cleaning because I was having a party, so these were the cleaning supplies, and this was my breakfast. It was yogurt and fruit and coffee, and restarted Weight Watchers. This is another one I wanted to have in here, but I just didn't want to have out in the open. I had this really strange dream, and I knew it was something meaningful, and so I wrote it on a card and just folded it back up and stick a piece of tape on, and I can look at that when I need to. And I really did. Sometimes, you know, dreams are really insightful and you want to go back to them. This was the brush pens, little roses. Not the black marks. Those are like pigment markers that won't run. This is another flower dry. I liked this. This was, I think this was brush pen, actually. And I got a tea from Republic of Tea called Get Lost. And I did a picture of the tin. And, oh, this is like sort of a hot mess, but I was doing like more stitching on this one with a needle and the stitches and thread, and I tried another one, but I shouldn't have colored it in. That was my mistake. So it's just like a big hot mess. I don't like my handwriting, and I have a lot of issues with my handwriting, but I wanted to try some fun text, so I just sort of made that one up, and that's okay. This was my father's birthday party day, and I did a cake, which I don't like it. I made it too dark. There's another little tooth message. Broccoli. I like that picture. I think it came out good. That was a combination of gel pens and the brush pens. And this was yesterday when I was feeling really, really, really fat. And this is my scale going tilt. And that's a cartoon. Horrifying. And this is today. I just want to remember a sale at Fresh Market and a grocery list and a couple things to do. And yeah. So you can see that as you go on with the Hobonichi, it gets thicker and thicker, which is cool, and I like that. Don't mind that at all. The edges, you have to be careful with the edges, and I'm just not. So they will fold up and crinkle, sometimes a little more than I'm comfortable with, but I could see this actually driving some people crazy. You know, the fact that it becomes very dog-eared looking. It doesn't really bother me too much, but you know, you can see there definitely is wear on the paper. So, I mean, I think that this was quite long enough, probably too long, and I'm imagining a lot of people probably, if they got to this point, probably look a lot like this. Yeah. But I wanted to do all the requests that I had all at once, and I know not everybody likes long videos, but I know some people really like long videos. I really love long videos. You put a video up that's an hour long, and I am happy. So, yeah, I think that's, you know, a personal preference. So, anyway, guys, anybody who's still here, thank you. And I will talk to you soon. And if there's anything I missed on this, let me know. I'll work on that for you.